All right, let's talk about something we all have a relationship with, sugar. But today we're not just going to talk about it in the usual way. We're going to look at some incredible science that suggests sugar can actually be, well, redeemed. Let's dive in.
You know the feeling, right? That amazing, sweet taste you love, followed by that awful, energy-sapping crash. It's the classic dilemma, and it's really the core problem we're going to unpack in this explainer.
I mean, on one side, you've got everything that's just so good about sugar. That authentic taste, the way it makes baked goods brown perfectly, the texture, and let's be honest, that little bit of emotional joy. But then on the other side, there's the price we pay. Those nasty blood sugar spikes, the inevitable crashes, the cravings it creates, and of course, the long-term metabolic consequences.
So, naturally, we've all tried the alternatives, the substitutes that promise they can give you the sweet without the sour. But they just don't quite hit the mark, do they? They either have a funky aftertaste, a weird texture, or they just completely fail when you try to actually cook or bake with them. Okay, so this is where things get really interesting. The material we're looking at today introduces a totally different way of thinking. This isn't just another substitute trying to mimic sugar. Nope. It's a whole new category, a sugar system.
So what exactly is it? Well, it's a system that brilliantly combines two things, a pretty rare natural sugar called allulose and good old non-GMO glucose. The whole idea is to give you all the performance, all the joy of real sugar, but with a way smaller hit to your metabolism. Okay, this slide is the real aha moment. Regular table sugar, right? It's made of two parts, glucose and fructose, and it's that fructose that often gets the blame for metabolic issues. What the Supercrose system does is genius in its simplicity. It just swaps out that troublesome fructose for allulose. And that one simple change, they claim, is what shifts the whole equation from metabolic overload to metabolic balance. To make this super easy to understand, the source material uses this fantastic analogy. Think of it as a machine with two parts, the engine and the governor. Let's see how they work together. So the glucose is your engine. It's the powerhouse that does all the work we want sugar to do. The browning, the caramelizing, the structure in our food. But then you have allulose, and that's the governor. It's there to regulate that powerful engine. It actually slows down how fast your body absorbs the glucose, keeping the whole metabolic impact under control. It's pretty brilliant. Glucose gives you the function, and allulose gives you the freedom. So, the idea sounds amazing, right? But does it actually work? Well, the evidence is broken down into three main pillars: that it's sweet, that it's stable, and that it's scientifically supported. Let's tackle the first one, sweet. Let's start with the most important question. How does it taste? Well, on a sweetness scale, where regular table sugar is a perfect 1.0, independent labs found Supercrose scores an incredible 0.88. I mean, that is almost identical. Most people would never notice the difference. And it's not just a single number. We're talking about the entire experience. It has that authentic flavor because it follows sugar's sweetness curve perfectly. There's no weird bitterness, no chemical aftertaste, and this is huge. It actually performs like real sugar. It bakes, it browns, it gives you that familiar texture and mouthfeel. No compromises. All right, now for that second pillar, stable. And wow, just look at this chart. This shows the blood glucose response. Dextrose, which is a form of glucose, is your baseline at 100%. Supercrose comes in at just 10%. That is a staggering 90% lower glucose response. This right here is a perfect picture of that governor doing its job. So what does that flattened curve actually mean for you? Well, it means you can avoid those crazy spikes and crashes after you eat, giving you much smoother, more stable energy. The science also shows that allulose can help activate satiety hormones like GLP-1. Those are the signals that tell your brain, hey, you're full, which is a game changer for controlling cravings. This is also why it's a great partner for anyone on GLP-1 medications. It works with your biology, not against it. And finally, our third pillar. Is it supported by real evidence? You bet. Here's a quote from a major 12-week human trial. It found that the group using an allulose glucose syrup saw actual reductions in body fat, body weight, and waist size. That's some pretty solid proof. And look, the proof isn't just from one study. It's been building for years. It starts way back in 2014 with clinical trials on body composition. It's backed up by all that sensory testing we talked about. It's been confirmed with continuous glucose monitors showing that flat response.
And just last year,
new lab tests have proven it actually reduces how much glucose is exposed to your intestines. It's a really solid case. Okay, the science is fantastic. It's fascinating, but what does all of this actually mean for us in our everyday lives? Let's bring this out of the lab and into the kitchen, the coffee cup, and our own personal health goals.
The cool thing is, it applies to so many people. If you're a baker, you finally get that perfect browning and structure you need. If you're just trying to eat healthier, you get to enjoy sweetness without the metabolic penalty. If you've got a sensitive gut, it's gentle, with no bloating. And for your daily coffee, it's a simple one-to-one swap that just works, cleanly, with zero aftertaste.
And maybe the best part of all is how beautifully simple it is. We're literally talking about just 2 ingredients, both found in nature: pure allulose and dextrose. That's it. No artificial stuff, no sugar alcohols, no weird chemical additives, just clean and simple.
Which really brings us back to the big idea here. This isn't about replacing sugar or finding a pale imitation. It's about redeeming it. It's about taking everything we love, the taste, the function, the joy, and using smart science to get rid of the parts that cause us problems.
And that leaves you with a pretty cool thought, doesn't it? If science can fundamentally re-engineer something as basic as sugar to work better with our bodies, what's next? What other everyday things could be improved, not by being replaced, but by being redeemed? It's exciting to think about. Thanks for watching.